for me.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Education Multilingual Learners Curriculum Subcommittee meeting. Today is Wednesday, February 15th. Time is now 6:04. With me this evening is Mr. Colin Hostin. Sherry McCready Pritchett will be joining us momentarily. I also have Frances Saez and her team, Taylor De Silva, Alyssa Canonico, and I also have Mr. Rob Pennington. Thank you everyone for joining this evening. The next item on the agenda is the minutes and motion to table those minutes, please.
I make that motion.
Thank you, Colin. So we'll table the minutes till next month. And I'm going to introduce Frances Saez to get us started this evening.
So good evening, everyone. I'm Frances Saez, the Education Administrator for Multilingual Learners in Norwood Public School. It's a pleasure to have everyone here today. I'm excited to present a lot of new information today. I look forward to our monthly meetings. So today's agenda, I want to share that our staff at Norwood Public School Administrators had the opportunity to attend a NABE conference, a National Association for Bilingual Educators in Oregon. And I also had the pleasure with my team to present at the NABE conference. So we have that on the agenda. And a new process that we put in place is we're excited of our kindergarten registration that is happening here in the Family Center for our first time. Our kindergartens are registering here and families are coming to the center. And we want to talk a little bit about how we made some changes to those processes to make it a smoother transitions for families. And then some updates of the Family Center. So the National Association for Bilingual Education has been a nonprofit membership organization that works to advocate for educational equity and excellence for multilingual learners and bilingual in a global society. This was a very exciting opportunity for MPS staff and administrators to attend a 3-day conference to learn more about the different bilingual programs that exist throughout the state, and also to learn about developing their own practice as educators in servicing MLLs and students that are struggling. There was a total of 4,000 members from all over the United States attending this conference, so we were so pleased to be there as a team. Dr. Estrella was honored in this conference. She received the Ramon Santiago Award. The Ramon Santiago Award is a bilingual educator who served as the president of the NABE Association, and his contribution was acknowledged throughout the years, and he was a leader and make sure that the survival of the National Association for Bilingual Education always continues. So this award was honored in memory of Dr. Ramon Santiago, the former president, for Dr. Estrella's leadership and dedication to multilingual learners. So we were happy to see her receive that award at the conference. I wanted to share in one of the presentations that I attended, they shared a video that really resonated with me because of our students, really providing our students the programs and opportunities that are for them to be competitive in a global world. And we see these young elementary students just articulating in 2 different languages the benefits of being bilingual. And they did an amazing job And I wanted to share that with the board today.
Bella, would it be awesome if we could speak all the different languages in the world?
Sí, José, sería muy divertido. Did you know there are over 6,500 spoken languages in the world today? El idioma más popular en el mundo es Mandarin Chinese. There are over 1 billion people that speak it.
En serio? Let's ask our audience. Raise your hand if you speak more than one language. Amigos, un estudio mostró que los 5 primeros idiomas hablados en el mundo son
Mandarin Chinese,
English,
Hindustani,
español,
and Arabic. Amigos, ¿saben cuáles son los beneficios de ser multilingüe?
¿Qué es multilingüe? Is that the type of superpower?
Sí, ser multilingüe te da la habilidad de hablar más de un idioma. The benefits of speaking more than one language are:
Boost brain power. Expande mi mente y mi inteligencia.
mejora la memoria, gives me the ability to remember longer,
Enhances the ability to multitask. Me da la ventaja de hacer más cosas a la vez.
mantiene mi mente en buenas condiciones por más tiempo, which is the combination of my intelligence and memory lasting longer as I get older.
Me abre las puertas a otras culturas, which provides me the ability to learn and understand different traditions and cultures.
Enhances decision making. Tomo mejores decisiones.
Mejora mi primer idioma. By learning a second or third language, I become more proficient speaking my first language. We all have different ways of learning diferentes idiomas. For me, moving to a bilingual school cambió mi vida para siempre.
Para mí, ser bilingüe has allowed me the opportunity to communicate better. During our family trips to China, Kazakhstan, and Mexico. Jose, how did being bilingual change your life?
Well, at first, the only words I knew in Spanish were, yo quiero tacos de pescado. My great-grandma and some of my family members live in Mexico City. It was hard for me to communicate with them because I couldn't understand. My mom would have really fun conversations with them, and I wanted to have fun too. When I moved to a bilingual school, at first, it was really hard for me. But as time passed, I got better at speaking Spanish. Y ahora, yo hablo más en español. How about you, Bella?
When I started at my new school, it was really hard for me as well. I remember my kindergarten teacher only spoke español. Me sentía en otro país. But as I was more exposed to this language, I started to understand and become better. Now, I can almost speak Spanish fluently, and it has helped me to communicate better with my teachers, and I was able to understand everyone and have fun during our trip to Mexico.
¡Qué padre! Y ahora, yo puedo hablar en español con mis abuelos que viven en Los Ángeles. I can speak Spanish and understand them now. It has brought in my own personal vision of how I see the world. Puedo verme viajando por todo el mundo, communicating and experiencing other cultures just like the Amazing Race. Y todo gracias a mi escuela bilingüe.
Me too, Jose. Los idiomas han abierto un nuevo mundo para mí. My mom teaches me Russian y ahora quiero aprender más idiomas. I hear that our school will be offering additional languages in the near future. Amigos, esperamos que esta presentación haya sido de su agrado y que hayan aprendido los diferentes beneficios de hablar diferentes idiomas. It has provided me the ability to communicate and understand people and cultures from around the world. Now I love to travel and have an opportunity to sit and talk with others.
It's like the TV competition of The Amazing Race, where you're traveling from one country to the next, conociendo gente de diferentes culturas y hablando diferentes idiomas. This is a great way to share our ideas with each other and make our world a better place.
Thank you. Gracias.
Didn't they do an amazing job articulating?
They are incredible. Wow. I just wanna say.
It really resonated with me, and I said I need to share this video because they did an amazing job articulating the
right.
importance.
It is amazing, and also because I know some of you don't understand Spanish, but those children have no accent in either language. It's amazing that they can pick up everything. You know, they're all sponges when they're that so young.
Yes, it was amazing. So I wanted to share how well they articulated their opportunities of being in a bilingual school and being able to be tolerant of each other's cultures and experiences. And one of the young boy, actually Latino, didn't know Spanish, and now he learned Spanish and could communicate with his grandparents. So in saying the importance of bilingual programs and the different bilingual programs that they share throughout the different states, I had the privilege with Stacy Bergen, who's the EA for curriculum, and Jenny Lopez, who is the dual language coordinator at Brookside and West Rock, to visit 2 schools in Oregon, dual language schools, elementary schools. And in the elementary dual language schools, top performing schools, they have a different model. It's called a 90-10 model. And the 90-10 model targets the first language, the Spanish language. And what they do is in kindergarten, they start with 90% in Spanish and 10% in English. And as the grade level increases, they start to increase the English and decrease the Spanish. Eventually, when they get to 4th grade, there is a 50-50 model where 50% of the instruction is in English and the other 50% is in Spanish. And they continue to a dual language program in middle school all the way up to high school. And they have an amazing graduation rate at the high school level where the dual language program exists. And one of the things that I found fascinating is that every classroom I went to visit had a bilingual teacher there. They promote all teachers, and not only Hispanics teacher, the non-Hispanics teacher were also bilingual, very proficient in both languages. And the bulk of those teachers were students at those very same schools. So they've really built on building a community, a bilingual community, starting off with hiring staff members, students from the previous school. So they're doing an amazing job in terms of really promoting bilingualism in both of the schools. And the student population are both. It's not only non-MLLs. They have, some classes had a mixer of 50-50, others vary, but families have the options to select participating in a dual language program. And if they didn't want to, they have a different pathway for those families. But most families, they have a wait list for non-MLLs. These programs are seen as an enrichment program for non-multilingual learners. And they're really building a community of bilingual staff and a bilingual community. So in our next slide, I just wanted to share a little bit of the topics Rob put together, Mr. Pennington put together a drive and an Excel file where teachers and staff members who attended these PDs could document the resources and the PD that they received, so that in the near future, we could turnkey these professional PDs that teachers attended and turnkey within their schools and throughout the district. So we're still gathering all the documents and gathering all those professional PDs that they attended to really be strategic and selecting those that would benefit our district and our school community so that we could share those.
So I'm really excited to be able to share this slide for everyone. It's really difficult to be selected to present nationally. There's a lot of proposals that are put in, and different committees they go through the proposals to try and select the ones that will have the greatest impact on the conference. And I'm very excited to share that Francis Size and Taylor De Silva's presentation was selected. And so Norwalk Public Schools actually presented at this conference. And their presentation was focused on educational equity and opportunities for our multilingual learners. And it really was based on the work that we have done as a district in transforming schools to offer equitable opportunities for our MLLs. And what I really love is that it's around building a coherent and actionable plan, working with our teachers, and focusing on teacher and student development for the success of all students. And so it was great to be able to see this presentation, but the truth is we live it every day. But I think for me, the highlight was when I was walking in the hallway and I heard an assistant superintendent from another district say, I really need to connect with Norwalk because I'm so excited about the work they're doing. And I want to be able to emulate that in my district. And so I just wanted to give them a huge shout out. It was really exciting to see. And we were able to gather a lot of resources to help us grow. But at the same time, across the nation, Norwalk Public Schools is on the map. So kudos to Francis and to Taylor.
Thank you. I also have to add that we had Diane Carpio attend our conference. Maybe Diane, you could share a little bit about your experience at the conference.
For me, it was an amazing conference. It was the first time I've ever been to a conference of that size. There was like 4,000 people, and it was 3 days with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of workshops to choose from. It was for me, it was very difficult to choose because just wanted to learn so much in a short period of time, and not to mention that Rob and I got stuck in 48 hours trying to get from New York to Portland in the snow. So we missed like a full day's worth. But in my quick notes here, I loved, first of all, that there was a lot of t-shirts that said, bilingualism is my superpower. So I need to be able to get one of those t-shirts because, a lot of people believe that children that don't speak English, that we are dumbing down the system for them, that they are not smart, that they can't reach their goals, that they can't do better. But being bilingual means that, their two parts of the brains are working at the same time, and they're thinking in two different languages, and they're learning in two different languages. And they may not be able to, do a full reading in English, but you give them that same reading in Spanish or Creole or whatever language that they understand, they'll be able to answer those same questions. And I think a lot of people forget that, and the public forgets that, especially with the amount of pushback sometimes with this type of curriculum. There was also a lot of workshops on state funding and grants. It was interesting to hear what other states what they are given, or if the city pays or if the state pays, the type of grants that they're looking at, the type of work that they're looking at. So that was very interesting too, to bring back. Also, just meeting other individuals from different districts and hearing the different types of issues that they have, either low enrollment or high enrollment, funding issues, how do you communicate with families, especially when there's so many different languages. I mean, we're lucky to have a family center that a lot of districts don't even have yet. So when Taylor and Francis were presenting, you could see the number of people taking notes and wanting to speak to them. And, just the thought of, you could hear them mumbling in the background. And it wasn't that they weren't paying attention, it was the excitement to have something like that. And then the one highlight that made me cry, because they really made me cry, was during the luncheon. It was, I don't remember his name, the student that was there. He had won an award, and he gave his story about how much he hated his mom, and he was angry at his mom for bringing him here. Why did she do that? She was a single mom with just him. And now, that he's older and he's gone through school and he speaks English and he's been able to have all these doors open for him. He literally, when I tell you, he bowed to her, he bowed and told the room how thankful he was for her, everything that she sacrificed for him, the work that she's done for him. He got emotional. He had to stop to be able to read his speech. And then not only did he do it in English, he finished it in Mandarin. And like I said, she didn't want to be seen. He made her come up on stage with him. And when he bowed to her, that says a lot for a child so young to understand now what she meant by, bringing him here for a better life. But yeah, so it was an incredible conference. And, hopefully maybe next year more of us can go, but it's something that's definitely worth going to.
Mhm. And his submission of his essay is among thousands and thousands of essays that were submitted. And he was awarded with reading that essay in both languages and sharing his experience of coming here and acknowledging that his success was due to his mom. So that was a very emotional. We saw some men crying in that conference during his speech. It was amazing.
Oh, and he was staying at a hotel. So when he walked into the lobby with his mom, you should have seen NPS. We all got up and we ran over to him. We had to go say hello and thank him and congratulate to mom for a job well done.
We actually have a picture with him.
Yes, we do.
Okay. So one of the things, our presentation was about an hour long, and so we're condensing a little bit about what we share. But I think that one of the principals came up to me after the presentation and was delighted to connect with Norwalk. I would love to go to West Palm Beach. They're from Florida, and visit his school, and he would come here. And he really acknowledged that the list that we provided and our findings, moving the work. I share a little bit about our findings, where we thought we needed to address those inequalities and providing equitable access. What were my findings in terms of looking at data, visiting at schools, talking to parents, speaking with teachers, the collaborative review with Dr. Walkie, really summarize the data and looking at the data on what opportunities are not being available, not only to MLs, to any students, and providing a list of how do we promote equity and access. And I think this list is going to actually be extended after you uncover more things. But he was very, very thankful, and we had numerous principals reached out through our emails for our slide presentation, and NABIT as well, so that they could share it out. And he said what really helped him is that list of promoting equity and access, like the one I'm displaying here. What are some things that we did to promote the access, and through our findings, how we align those findings to our action plan and be able to start to shift the mindset and start to shift those opportunities to avail it to students and to families. We talked a little bit about the welcome, the Family Welcome Center, providing access and knowledge to families to be able to make sound decisions about the programs and services for their students. And we still have work to do around that. We still have work to really provide special needs families with the knowledge they need to support their child and what service is best for them. And also building on the capacity of our teachers and administration is really key. And I share that and some of the professional development that we afford teachers. And some of the strategies, Dr. Walkie was there as well, that we've rolled out throughout the district, and how we start with administrators, principals, central staff. And we're in the process now of working with our bilingual coordinators and parent coordinators. You really have to include all stakeholders if you want change to happen in a positive way. So we provided this list, and we provided the second list, which is also looking at, which we're collaborating with Stacy in the curriculum department, really going back and looking at the curriculum and looking at the instructions that is being afforded students, and looking at textbooks. Is the instruction rigorous? Are those books that are being exposed to us to culturally sustaining curriculum? Do children see themselves in a positive way when they're reading a text or reading material? And really involve the families in the decision-making process. And one thing I also talked about is, how do we monitor our students' progress? How do we create a plan of success for all students? This is something that we as a team need to be able to develop and integrate into looking at each child as a whole child, and how we could support them and make sure they're being successful in school. Everyone is important to us, has to be important to us. So I'm going to stop at this point before I go on to the kindergarten registration for any questions.
Any questions, Colin?
Not so much a question. Just I want to just say congratulations to our NPS team for what sounds like a really great presentation. I'm just thrilled. I loved hearing Dinah's impressions of it. To have that many people come together and really talk about improving outcomes for multi-language learners. And just thank you for doing NOAA proud.
Thank you so much.
I just want to echo Colin's comments too. It's really fun, and it's interesting to hear the comments of attendees, since I was supposed to go and didn't go because I got sick. So I'm really happy to hear about all of this. And I really appreciate your presentation here and the work that you all are doing around equity, access, and engagement.
Thank you, Sherry. We're very passionate about this work. We take it, my entire team takes it personal in making sure that every child is supported in whichever way they need, social, emotionally, academically, so that they could really be a contributor to our community and really well-rounded individuals.
Yes, it was definitely very impressive. And what you all don't know is, so Cardona was supposed to have a personal one-on-one with Dr. Estrella she did not get to meet him because of the delay in snow. So we were literally on the plane, on the runway, where they said that we couldn't get off. And I swear I thought she was going to cry at that moment. Because think about that. If she's being seen nationally for the award that she received and being invited to meet with Cardona, Secretary of Education, that goes to show the vision
Yes.
that she has, the hard work that she is doing here in Norwalk. And like Rob Pennington said, Norwalk is on the map. Norwalk
Yeah,
is
it is.
being seen. And I didn't know the extent of it until I went to this conference and saw it from so many different states. We're talking states, we're not just talking towns here in Connecticut. And I was extremely impressed. Is there I know we have some guests on here. If there's anybody else that had any questions, Liza or Viviana?
Hello, I also wanted to chime in and just say how exciting. I had no idea that all of this was going on. By the way, this is Liza, and I'm an MLL teacher for the Norwalk Public Schools at the elementary level. And I just want to join in on your excitement. It sounds wonderful. I had no idea that this was happening, and it's so nice to hear all the positive and the recognition that Norwalk is getting statewide, and wondering if teachers will be invited to attend this conference as well. This would be a great experience, and I would love to attend if possible.
Definitely, we had numerous teachers attending. We will send out the invite for the upcoming year for any MLL teacher that would like to attend. We always promote that teachers grow professionally and attend these sessions.
We did just speak about that. This year was a lot of admins because, you know, everything being so new. And we were actually discussing, Dr. Stray and I, the budget, and hoping that we can grow the attendees list for next year. And yeah, just send in that email, Liza, and let us know that you're interested for next year.
Thank you.
So we're very excited about the MPS Family Center starting the kindergarten registration. We started to look at our data and our numbers of students, kindergarten, that families started the registration in process, some at home, some at the family center, but we still have to follow up with finalizing those registrations. So what we started, something new, we started to open the family center on Saturdays to support families that are registering their students at their children in kindergarten. We reached out to numbers of families who started the process, and the students needed to be assessed, and set up appointments on Thursdays evening and Saturdays just to begin the assessment process for those students. They must be assessed if they identify in their application that there's a language other than English that they speak. We have to assess them in the pre-last to determine whether when they come into school, they need services, ML service, so that we're ready to provide those services as soon as they come into school. So we're very excited. This is our first year to have it centralized for the families. We've been getting very nice reviews from the families. We have it set up where the kids feel comfortable, because it's very intimidating when a pre-K student is coming in to get assessed. And it's very exciting for the families when they know that child is, oh, my baby's going to school next year. So we're trying to streamline the process and make it as smooth as possible for the families. And we just communicated to families, we're going to be open 2 Saturdays every month. We're going to see how it goes in April and May. If we still need to assess and support families with registration, because we have a large number. I'll share the numbers in a few. But if we need to open up 2 Saturdays in June, we will do as we will do that as well. Right now, we're in progress of screening. These are some of our beautiful scholars that are coming to the Family Center. We acknowledge them with a certificate once they complete the assessment and the registration process. We have a total of 298 kindergartens, families that started the registration process for the 2023-2024 school year. And right now we have 108 potential MLLs, and I say potential because once we give them the assessment, whether they pass the assessment or not would determine whether they're identified as MLLs and whether they need the services. And we have 92 that we've screened and set up appointments already for, and 41 qualified for the service so far. So we're continuing with this process, and we're excited about having all the families coming in here. They register, and while the families are registering, we're assessing those students that need to be assessed. Any questions about kindergarten before we go to the Family Center updates?
When do you think you'll get the mad rush on registrations?
Oh my God. Right when in June, and then right before school starts, it starts showing up right before school. So we're availing families, please come on Saturday. Let's get these assessments done so that everyone is ready to go to school the first day. Sometimes families start the registration and think, oh, I'm done. And they show up to school with the little backpack with the kids ready to go. No, you're not done. So we're reaching out to families to make sure that those who already started the registration process and not all documents are in, that our family reps are calling them and saying, please come in, we're still missing this document. So we started really early to make sure that we don't get a rush. We'll get a rush anyway, but we're hoping the rush is not that large.
Thank you.
So we have some updates. The schools team put together a PD at the Family Center. We send it out to communications, and we're offering what is SRBI, what is the process, so that families are aware about the intervention that is taking place in the schools. On March 20, we have early childhood literacy and play, what it looks like in pre-K and kindergarten. We've invited all those families that started the registration process to come and attend. That's being facilitated by Melendez. And we're gonna have some fun PD on problem solving math and what some things that we could do with our children at home to be able to solve some problems. And Stacy's going to be running Everyone Has a Story. What is your story? An opportunity for people to write their stories and tell a little bit of their own narrative. You know, we all come with a narrative, and the best way I know have fun with my family is I tell stories. We tell stories. We get together and tell funny stories of how our day went at work, or sad stories about experience we have. But it's an opportunity to share a long tradition of storytelling and enjoying each other's company. And Cinco de Mayo, we're going to have a celebration on May 4th, where we're going to engage in an art activity where we create our own mask and do a self-portrait. So we're excited about that event. And Ms. Melendez is also going to do a early childhood PD on those families that have students in pre-K and families that don't have students that are attending pre-K, the transition, how that would look like in terms of kindergarten. At Norwalk High School, there was a PD in English on January 24th and the 31st. I heard it went really well, where there was a forum of mental health, substance abuse forum with different agencies, nonprofit organization, agency president. And now some of the families that attended and share that with some of the Spanish speaking families. And we're going to emulate a little bit of that. We have Margaret Watts, the Director of Prevention and Positive Directions, who's going to be rolling out that PD here at the Family Center March 30 from 5 to 7 p.m. And we're happy to have her aboard because it's about preventing our students from using alcohol and drugs. What are those signs? How we could support our families to make sure that they get the resources and the support they need for prevention. So we're excited. We've been rolling out, as I stated, bilingual aids and parent corner. Parent corner is workshops here at the Family Center. They're very excited because they never received workshops previously. So they're learning a lot. And we also did a survey to get a sense of how can we at the Family Center support the parent coordinators to increase our parent engagement, not only at the Family Center, but also at the school level. And from our survey, one of the things that they express is knowing more about the community resources that already exist in Norwalk that they may be able to share with families that come to them because they're the first contact in their schools, so that they could do a referral process and support those families with numerous different needs. So we're in partner with the Norwalk City Community Hub, and Viviana and her team are going to come and do a PD on Tuesday, March 21st, to our parent coordinators from all the schools that avail them with the resources about fair rent control, youth services, all the services that they have available throughout the Norwalk community that they could refer parents to. And Jessica Benzino will be presenting on programs and services regarding behavioral and mental health so that families could have access to those services. And our hope is for the parent coordinators to turnkey the resources that they're sharing with us at their school level so that they could support families and parents. On March 30, we have our bilingual aids, professional development. We recently shared with them some of the QTEL strategies that we've been sharing with administration, principals, teachers, and how they could use those QTEL strategies when they are in their small groups, and that they could support also the ML and the teachers in delivering those strategies to their students. So we're very excited. And we're going to continue to provide professional development for the bilingual aids. And our next topic is our role and responsibility and how we could effectively collaborate with the teacher so that they could also support the teacher and the students. So we're excited. I mentioned last month about rolling out the Family Center internship programs with our high schoolers. This week, we started our interview. These scholars are amazing. This is going to be a difficult decision. So we're very excited. And I think by next Friday, we'll be able to make a decision. And they're excited. They came with their resumes. They came ready to be interviewed. So I can't wait to see them starting here and working in the internships, supporting the family of their own community. So I just wanted to share a little bit about every time we have a family come in either for a workshop or any type of services, not everyone answers the survey when we give it to them, but we have an exceptional number of responses. From 240 now, we have 231 that have rated exceptional service at the Family Center. And we're proud of the work we're doing here. And one of the things that I think was important for us to share is the family center call interaction that is conducted throughout the months. So it's not only about the families physically coming here, but it's also we support families through it kind of like a call center. If you see the numbers here on a monthly basis, of how we supported 2,800 total customer service calls just in the month of January. We still have to gather the February and March, but it's constant support, calling families, families calling us, being able to help them in an array of different services. Because now families show up here knowing about the family center. It has not only have to do with registration, we are doing a lot of referral service to the city hub because of the need that is here in the community. And we wanted to share 2 questions that were posed. And I love the fact that Diana did this, and I welcome more questions because based on your questions, we could prepare our PDs around your concerns, your questions, your wonderings. And one of the questions that was posed is why are programs and services are only in middle school and high school, and why not start the students in elementary school and set them up? So I wanted to share that services are in all grade level bands from elementary to high school. And these are the ML teachers that are in all the schools. We are still in search of ML teacher in Sono. We've done a few interviews and we think that they're going to take it. But one of the struggles that's happening not only in Norwalk, but nationwide is being able to get those ML teachers and bilingual teachers aboard. And some in the city get a lot more money than they do here. Others don't want to switch from one district to another if the pay is not great enough. So we've been struggling. We're still collaborating with HR, but the only school that right now does not have an ML teacher is Sono. But I put a consultant, a bilingual consultant at Sono, who's been working with teachers in the delivery of their instruction and lesson planning, not only with the teachers that are servicing the MLs, but the new experienced teachers. So that's the way we're providing the support there because we know there's a need there for an ML teacher. And I think that's the end of my presentation. Any questions?
Thank you so much for that. My question is on the parent coordinators. I see that some schools don't have any. Do some of these parent coordinators travel to the other schools, or are they full-time in that one school?
No, but I would, and I believe Dr. Estrella would love to have a parent coordinator in every school. But now with the budget, I don't know how that would happen, but it would be so much ideal and perfect because we turnkey the PD and they do it in their school. And the other schools don't have a parent coordinator and they struggle with parent engagement because of it. But it would be ideal. This is what exists now, that we would have a parent coordinator in every school.
Okay, thank you. Colin or Sherry?
This
Go
is
ahead, Colin.
Yeah, this is really just there's so much going on here, and part of the challenge is always trying to make sure that the community knows about it. I happened to join the Norwalk Acts convening this morning, which was really a rich conversation about data, and there was a lot of questions about opportunities for particularly early childhood and families, and I just wanted to kind of put that out there and share that. So that we can use Norwalk Acts as a partner and a way to amplify a lot of the work, especially with these enrichment programs at the Family Center, because I know there's a huge appetite for that.
Thank you for sharing that. I would follow up with really contacting them, and because we also have Mary here, who's from the city,
Mhm.
and we have early childhood, but we will definitely connect with them because our collaboration will really support those families who are interested in early childhood.
Awesome. Thank you.
I was just going to make a comment that with regard to kindergarten registration, it's really great that we have this resource here that you presented, because when one is registering a child for kindergarten, while it's a happy time, it's also very challenging and it's emotional. And if one were to see that through the lens of someone who also is newly arrived, English is not a first language, I would imagine that it's very stressful to do this very important thing. So the fact that we have these resources available to guide families through the process, and I also sense that it helps to put them on the path to some success. You know, when you start off, when it's kind of jumbled and it's messy, that kind of continuum can go on. And so the fact that there's an opportunity here to start that process off in a thoughtful way is helpful.
Thank you, Sherry. You're absolutely correct. If we start well organized, welcoming families, it's stressful for both. You know, at that age, they'll cry if they feel intimidated. We have our staff here that has it set up where they even enjoy staying here, and we got to get the process moving, and families feel comfortable. So sometimes, when it comes to the assessment piece, we allow parents, for example, something that may appear simple, allow the parents even to walk them to the room where they're going to be assessed, so that the child feels comfortable and they're okay with staying with this new person that they're meeting who's going to be assessing them. So they prep the families, they prep the parents, they prep the child. And I think out of all the assessments we've done so far, I think there was only one child that we had to leave there with the parent, because sometimes they perform better when the parents are not there, because they feel the pressure that they have to do really, really well for mommy and daddy. But once the parent is not there, they just follow the instruction of the family reps. But it's been really a nice experience for us and for the families.
Thank you. Francis, excuse me, Francis, can you take down the screen? Your presentation.
Oh, can I just ask a question about that screen, Diana?
Oh, you want it back up? Sorry.
So sorry.
That's okay. Okay, Francis, we'll need the screen back. Thank you.
I'm sorry. It's very small, so it's very difficult for me to read. I just have two questions. For the parent coordinator, that's the last column, correct?
That's correct.
Are those parent coordinators, do they speak other languages other than English?
Most of them do. Most of them do, yes.
Most of them do. And then for the second column, does that say MLL teachers?
That's correct.
And those are the numbers of teachers
correct
at each school?
Correct.
Like, so, am I reading that correctly? Brookside has 20 something teachers?
No, 2.5.
2.5.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, it's very small, so I couldn't distinguish okay, so there's a decimal.
I did a snippet of my data to be able to show it. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you, Francis.
You're welcome, Liza.
Okay. I think the only one left here, Liza's done, is Viviana. Any questions, comments?
We didn't hear you, Viviana.
No. Okay.
Viviana has helped with the assessments, right, Viviana?
Yes.
She's helped us a lot with assessing the solo students we went in to support the school, and she did an amazing job.
Yeah, and she's one of the parents that actually went up in the school system as a staff member, but she used to just be, not just, she used to be a volunteer at a school, and that's how I met her. And, just little by little, it takes a village. And she applied and she was able to work now at the Sono school. So
We want
that is
Viviana as a
amazing.
bilingual teacher, and Viviana, I lost Viviana, but
Here
definitely.
she is. I think she's trying to get back on. She probably can't get unmute herself or something.
She's definitely. could
I'm
be a
here.
Hi, Viviana.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yes, I will try. I'm in my cell phone. I don't know what happened. Oh, thank you for the presentation, Diana. And yes, I'm a mom with 2 kids in the system. I'm bilingual. I'm from Costa Rica. So for me, that was very important that my kids, learn my language, which is Spanish. It's a fight in my house every single day because they want to speak English, but they will be understand later in the future. That is super important because I always say, I wish I can learn English when I was a little, because now that I grow up, it's so hard for me, but we're trying.
Mhm.
And I'm a bilingual parent, educator in Sono, and I just love my job because I can see those faces when they start understanding the language, and when you can just have a little conversation like, hello, how are you? And they can do it by themselves. Oh my God, those faces shine. And I just love it. And I know it's a lot to do. We have a lot to do with these kids. But I think little by little, we're like progressing a lot, one step at a time. And I think it's important one step at a time, but do it well. And I'm pretty confident that we are on the same page and that we're working so hard for that. And I'm just so happy to be part of this.
Okay.
I'm so happy to be part. It's a lot to do.
Well,
Yes.
thank you so much. And we're
No,
thankful
thank
to
you.
have you and for stepping up to the plate, and being
Yep.
strong enough to make that decision and apply. And here you are. Thank you.
No, thank you.
And for any of you that have not visited the Family Center, should take that, go visit, see the house. I think it's important for everybody to see how comforting and homing it is, because, we have a lot of families here that don't want to walk into City Hall because, they see it as a federal building. They get nervous, they get scared. The girls at the Family Center are all so very nice. Just the decorations. It's like walking into a home and having, a family member help you. And it's amazing. And also just to see the pantry that's helping all the students of Norwalk.
I have to give it out. In terms of pantry, Diana, you really help us start this up.
You rock,
But
Diana.
let me tell you, we also are thankful for this community, because once a month I put out a flyer with my assistant aides once a month, and it brings tears to my eyes that at the end of the month, the pantry is empty and the community comes out and fills it. Fills it up every month. They fill it up. The community helps each other. You're an amazing community. It fills it up. Not an agency, families helping families.
Exactly. Don't cry if it's going to make me cry.
I have allergies.
Okay.
Aw.
Aw. All right. Any other questions, concerns? If you think of anything, please email us your questions, and Frances and her team will just add them to the presentation next time. But with that being said, if there's nothing else, motion to adjourn. It's 7:03.
Thank you, everyone.
So moved. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Colin. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.